All right. So before I get started, let me get in the chat. We're gonna do some participation over here, even though I can't see y'all. Let's put in the chat if you can hear me clearly. If you can't hear me clearly, put 2 in the chat. Can you hear me clearly? Put 1. If you can hear me clearly, put you can't hear me clearly, put 2. Okay, y'all can hear me good. Okay. Okay, great. All right. Hey, Whitney, girl. Hey, Whitney. Okay, good. All right. So as you coming in, I'm asking everyone to drop in the chat where you from. Drop in the chat how long you've been in the tax industry. I'm gonna try to keep this webinar to the best of me, Lord. Close to an hour. Of course, I'm probably gonna go over an hour. I am gonna take questions and answers at the end. I'll read the chat in between. Presenting. When I do ask questions, you can raise your hand, and I'll let you speak out loud, or you can just put your answer, your question in the chat, and I'll eventually get to it. So it's just up to y'all. I like to present a lot for the most part, and then do questions and answers. But I'll look at some of the questions while I present because I don't really like to waste anybody's time. So again, in the chat as you coming in, because people are starting to really come in now. Um, oh, Veronica, yeah, I'm probably gonna post the recording, but I definitely send out a replay if you don't stay to the end. So to the people that's on, but hopefully everybody will stay to the end. Let's go ahead and get started because, like I said, I don't want to keep y'all all night. So if you're just coming in, drop in the chat where you from, how long you been doing taxes. Let's go. So tonight we're talking about beyond April the 15th. So what now? And why are we talking about that? Because, well, first of all, I'm still working. I work all year. That's one thing. But it's still like flow for me because I'm in Georgia and a lot of our clients had to May the 1st. So we still humping. But a lot of you might have slowed down. Some of y'all might have went on vacation. A lot of you stopped doing taxes after April the 15th. The reason why is because you don't even know what to do beyond April the 15th. You just know like it's the peak of tax season is over and you feel like in your head you don't have to do taxes anymore. And I used to be like that. Like when April the 15th used to come around, I used to shut shop. I didn't care people. I let them file their extensions. I'm like, I'm going on vacation. I'm not doing nobody taxes for a couple of months. And then if you call me, I might make an appointment. I'm on to my next business, whatever I got going on. It was April 15th was the end of tax season for me for a long time. And I know that's like that for a lot of people. Okay. I used to shut it down when April 15th came. I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. But I do taxes year round now. And so even if you're not going to do taxes past April the 15th, it's still work that you should be doing if you want to build your tax business. So let's talk about some of this stuff. So let's talk about how was this tax season. And when we say tax season, I'm not talking about, I know a lot of people still do taxes year round, but these first 4 months of the year that most people call tax season, if you can describe in one word how you feel about this past tax season, drop your word in the chat. Whitney said slow. Christy said amazing. Liana said growth. Okay, Veronica said slow. Describing one word, y'all. Let's see. Slow. Whitney said growing. Let's go, Whitney. Slow. Oh, it's a lot of slow, but a lot of y'all only been in it for like 1-2 years. A lot of people saying growing. Debbie said blessings. Okay, Debbie, it's always a blessing. Oh my God, it's always a blessing. One word. Let me see a couple more. Jennifer said busy, busy. Yeah, it was busy, Jennifer. It was It's real busy. Growing, unless this is growing. Okay, I love it. Growing and slow for some. And I think a lot of the slow people were people who is just getting in the industry. And that is normal. If you didn't think that was normal, that is normal. I don't care what you see on the internet. Some just a lot of changes. I don't care what you see on the internet for new tax pros. A lot of time it is slow for you. Okay. That's normal. So if you didn't think that was normal, I'm here to tell you it's normal. So let's talk about, when do y'all start preparing for next tax season? Okay. Because a lot of y'all said it was slow. Some of y'all said it was growing. When do you usually start preparing for next tax season? So do you just start right after April? Do you start around the fall? Do you start after New Year's? Because a lot of people don't start until after New Year's. Okay, Veronica says she started now, but normally in October. Okay. And or is it D? I just wing it. If it's a D for you, don't be shamed. Don't be shamed. You know how many people just be winging it out here? So it's okay if you got D. Okay. Okay, around the fall. When you say around the fall, okay. Okay, September. Okay. So let's go. Let's see. But being that I'm on my own now, it's now. Okay, when you say it on her own now, it's now. Okay. It's important to start now. Okay. So business season is over, but the real opportunity literally starts now. When you talk about scaling, when you talk about growing your business, when you talk about getting more clients, starting at the end of the year is not necessarily a good thing. You can still gain clientele at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, but you should be planning for next tax season now. I don't say don't go take no vacation. Go take some vacations. Get you some mental breaks. Do whatever you need to do for yourself, but you still should be starting now. So our goals, is to learn about maximizing off-season revenue. How many of y'all still trying to make money right now? You're still trying to make money right now? Drop one in the chat. Or you think you're supposed to make money in the first 4 years, first 4 months of the year? Drop one in the chat, okay? Client building, education, social media presence, and preparing for additional services. So what you're going to learn today is you're going to learn various strategies to generate income now the tax season is over. We're going to learn effective methods to nurture existing clients and attract new ones. We're going to talk about the importance of staying educated and informed by industry changes. I just realized this on one of my slides. I didn't add what I need to add on it, but when I get to it, I'll tell you that's the one. Understand the importance of social media and client acquisition and retention. Identifying potential new services to expand your business offering. And we're going to highlight activities and tests to improve business operation and efficiency. So my promise to you, by the end of this workshop, you will leave equipped with information that can help you maximize your off-season revenue, effective nurturing, and build your client base, and enhance your professional development. You will gain insights in expanding your service offering and leveraging social media to grow your business. That's all the reading I'm going to do. I don't do a whole lot of reading, but some stuff you just got to read. So for those who don't know, I'm not going to go in a long wind of everything about me because I want to get to the meat and potatoes. But I am Dr. Gwinnetta Wright. I'm the owner of Expert Tax Service, LLC. I have been in the tax industry for over 20 years. I'm a 40-time award-winning tax business owner and serial entrepreneur for the last 19 years in September, because I started at the end of the year in 2006 preparing for tax season. I processed over 30,000 tax returns. I've taught over 1,000 tax pros how to be profitable and compliant. I've taught hundreds of tax pros how to start their own businesses, and many of them today make six figures. And my business has generated eight figures in revenue over the last 19 years. This is my picture of me. I was gonna put it in my PowerPoint when I finally hit seven figures in a year. I recently did that in 2023. I'm not gonna go into that whole spiel, but a lot of people like to show numbers. I'm not like a whole like numbers game, but I know people like receipts. People like to see proof. So this a proof. It's documented. These are my awards because when you see the word 40 times, a lot of people are like, oh, they just be making that stuff up. I have received over 40 awards, not all of them in the tax industry, but I own multiple businesses. So I not one, but I've been awarded a lot of different awards over these last 19 years. I've been featured in the media multiple times, radio, news, podcasts, magazines. I've been members of a lot of prestigious organizations. So I do a lot of media. I believe in being visible, and that's why I tell you to start now. You have to start now. Because visibility is everything when you talk about growing your tax business, growing your income, and get more clients. You got to be visible. So media is a big component of that. So the first thing we're going to talk about that you should be doing now, okay, especially since we're wrapping up the bulk of our files. Even though you do taxes all year long, the bulk of your clients you're wrapping up right now. So the first thing you're going to start working on is organizing and optimizing your client files. So one, I know y'all seen or heard or watched, okay, people all year this year get letters in the mail for due diligence examinations. The IRS going to people people, the IRS going to people office for ERO compliance examinations. The banks doing bank audits. What I've seen so far in 2025 that I have not seen in any other tax year, and that is the IRS doing due diligence examinations right now in the current year. Usually what they do is they wait until the fall, and then they start sending out letters. They start auditing clients in the fall. They start auditing tax pros in the fall. But my inbox stay blowed up daily of people who are getting due diligence examination letters, and the IRS are coming into their office right now for the 2025, not 2025, the 2024 tax season, which is the current tax season. So they are auditing files now. They are auditing people right now for this past tax season. So it's very important for you to go and review your files. Okay. What are your systems? What systems do you have in place? And if you don't have a system in place, this is a good opportunity for you to put one in place just in case you get selected for an examination. So organizing, going behind yourself, checking your notes, making sure you got the proper documents in your files, doing all those different things. That is one of the main things you should be doing right now. Organizing, reviewing your files. Okay, definitely that's the first thing you should be doing. Now, we always talk to our clients about evaluating their financials, but how many of you really know how much money you'll make this tax season? I remember before I started watching my numbers, like what I used to do was I used to look at only bank product numbers. I didn't look at the full picture of what my revenue was for the year, where I was throughout the tax season. I wasn't setting goals of how much I wanted to make for the rest of the tax season. I didn't look at how much it was going to cost me to make it for the rest of the tax season. So a lot of you all need to start evaluating your revenue, your costs. How many of you have office spaces and you keep them all year? Drop in the chat if you got an office space and you keep it all year. Especially if you're a new pro. Drop in the chat a one if you got an office space and you keep it all year. So, yes. So if you're new, right? If you're a new
No.
How can I help you?
Let me get a
Tiffany, put your
Oh.
thing on mute. Okay. So then you got to know what is your cost. How much does it cost you to keep your business all year? Are you charging your worth? If you feel like you didn't make enough money this tax season, have you evaluated how much you're actually making in the business? How much are you charging per client? And did you even really make a profit? Okay. So did you make a profit? Because a lot of times, like for instance, me saying I generated 8 figures in my tax business. I really did generate 8 figures in my tax business. But that's not what I profited. A lot of times we look at people saying, oh, I made 6 figures. Oh, I made 7 figures. Oh, I made 8 figures. That's not what they're necessarily profiting. That's the revenue they're generating. Are you actually making money in your business? You need to evaluate it. Evaluate your finances. And if you're not, you need to be setting goals on how to make sure that you are. So let's talk about ways right now you can start generating revenue. And these are things that you don't have to go take a class for the most part. Some of y'all should be able to do a lot of these things now because you're probably already doing it. You just might need to put a fee on it. Okay. But after tax season is it's a great time to make revenue, especially preparing taxes, because most tax pros shut down after April 15th. Y'all see them, everybody on vacation, everybody balling out right now on social media. So most tax pros are done for a while, but people still need their taxes done. So you do not stop marketing. You can pick up a client just because you're visible. You can pick up a client just because you're available. Versus during tax season, the market is oversaturated with so many tax pros. They have so many choices. But after tax season, after April 15th, it ain't a whole lot of tax pros around. But guess what they at? They on vacation. They're doing like I'm doing with a lot of them because everybody want to have service bureau. Have Ethan holders under them. Want to have PTN holders under them. So they ain't even thinking about the taxpayers anymore. They only thinking about tax pros. So this your time to shine. This your time to still make money. It might not be big drops like January through April, but it's still money out here to be made. So continue to market yourself. You can market for the current year, for people who have filed extensions, for people who have not filed their taxes yet. You can market for prior year returns, past year returns. Guess what? It's a lot of people out here that have not filed taxes in years. I get so many of them every other day with 2, 3, 4 years of filings they need. And with the IRS, I'm sending letters to a lot of people this year, not releasing refunds because they haven't filed their taxes it's even more people that got to file their taxes, past year taxes, because they want this year's taxes. So prior year taxes, advertising that, letting people know that you can do past year taxes. Getting with different people doing like joint ventures or being a referral agent for like bankruptcy attorneys, for real estate agents, because anybody who filed a bankruptcy, anybody who's trying to buy a house, they have to have their taxes done. And there'll be a lot of people who need their taxes done just to get in their house, just to file bankruptcy. So that's the way to get it. And then we know what all the crooked stuff that went on in the world. Advertising amendments is where the money is right now. Okay. So, but the only how people are going to know that is if you advertise it. So you got to continue to market. Host webinars, low cost webinars on relevant topics. I don't know why I'm trying to read, but low cost webinars on relevant topics. So right now I'm doing a free webinar, right? It's not a cost, but it's for tax pros. But you tax pros who can choose an industry, choose a topic to become an expert in, and just do webinars all year on that particular topic for that niche audience, and you can generate revenue. Everything is a numbers game. So just think about if you charged a $29, you had a $29 webinar that you did all month. And one that I think about that is a good one for tax pros is teaching small business owners their tax responsibilities, or letting them know how to calculate their income, how to pay their taxes. That is a good one for a person that's a tax pro, because it's ain't nothing but small business owners out here. And if you want to like really niche down for gig economy, for stylists, for makeup artists, for truckers, whoever it is, doing a webinar, training them, teaching them about taxes, teaching them about business. A low cost webinar, nothing too high to where they're not going to want to buy, but they don't think about it when they're spending it. So if it's a $29 webinar, you doing that over and over again, and say for the month you have 100 people that, because you did a webinar every week, that purchased that, that went on that webinar for you, that's $2,900 for the month. Who can't use $2,900 for the month? Okay, who can't use $2,900? So do a low cost webinar. But not only that, the webinar can generate you money, right? And I talk about it a little bit later in the in this webinar. But it also, if it don't generate you money, it can generate you leads. Because remember, you're trying to prepare for next tax season. So the webinars can do twofold. It can make you money, and it can generate leads for you. So find you something to teach. And even if, say for instance, because one thing I know about tax pros is we have 1,000 other businesses. Most tax pros got 1,000 other businesses. So even if it don't have anything to do with taxes or teaching your niche audience, what other business that you are an expert in that you can generate or create a webinar for that you can make money for? All right, so definitely doing that. Selling digital products. I know y'all hear that all the time. Digital marketing, digital products. That's where the money resides. Okay. I used to think, people used to exaggerate about it. Like I used to be like, oh, you're not making that much money. And there's no way possible. Who's really buying these books? Who's really buying these webinars? Who's really doing that? When people used to be like 10K in 10 days, 30K in 30 days, I used to think they were lying. They're not. They're not. So the money resides in digital products. It's the same thing with the webinar. What are you an expert in that you can sell? It don't have to necessarily be revolved around taxes. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because regardless of what community you build up, everybody got to get their taxes done. So regardless, they're still your audience for a potential client, for you to utilize that information to build your database, to build your lead. But digital products is where the money resides. But the thing that they don't tell you is you just can't make a digital product and then boom, it's gonna automatically sell, or boom, that you're gonna automatically make money. You gotta have strategy behind it. It takes a lot, it takes time, it takes consistency, but the money really is in that. And with the way the not just the industry is going, but the world is going, right? With all the tariffs and all the different changes that are going on in this world, I really, really, really strongly suggest that you get into some type of digital product to go along with your services, because I feel like we're getting ready to go back in COVID. The difference about it is we might not be having to put on a mask or whatever, but a lot of people gonna be inside because a lot of people not gonna have money to go outside. So while they inside, you need something you could be selling to them. Offering additional services that don't take you having to take a $1,500 class. So document preps. A lot of people who are buying houses, their mortgage lenders need comfort letters. They need comfort letters from tax pros. Dot prep is making a profit and loss sheet of what they reported on their Schedule C. Dot prep can be a lot of different things, but start advertising that you do certain things that takes you to make documents or do some type of paperwork for them that you can charge fees. Become a notary, business consulting, really understand what it takes to start a business. Just the general information and steps that it takes to start a business. If you do taxes, you need to know that anyway. Okay. T says she needs more information on the dot prep. Okay. I'll talk about it a little later if I can come back to it or when we get to the questions. But you need to know the basic information around starting a business, doing business formation. It's different companies that you can partner with that will do the business formation for you, just like they was going to do the BOIs for you, even if you don't want to do it. It doesn't matter what the amount is. It matters about the number. It's a numbers game. Being visible, getting the right amount of people to buy into these services that you have. Business coaching. Know the general information and starting a business so that you can utilize that. Tax consulting. Not necessarily tax planning, tax consulting. Just scheduling appointments with small business owners, breaking down how taxes work. Pick my brain sessions. They be in your inbox anyway. Charge them a fee. And it don't even have to be a high fee. You think about everything again is a numbers game. So if you get, say, 10 people a week just to pay you $50 to pick your brain, and you do that every week for the whole month, you just made $2,000 a month. It's a numbers game. Everything do not have to be a big number. Okay? Everything do not have to be a big number. If you're not making 10K a month, you're not making 30K a month, it's okay. Who cannot use an extra 2K? Who can use an extra 1K? That's a part of your rent. That's a car note. That's your utilities. Think like that when you're thinking about what you want to plan, when you want to make additional revenue for the year. And you can't just like say you want to make it. You got to strategize and plan that you want to make it. Meaning, just like you promote taxes, whatever you decide to make additional revenue on, you got to do the same thing for it. You have to be visible. You have to be the go-to person for that. So when people see you, then they say, oh, you know what? I got somebody, or somebody might ask them, you know what? I need somebody to help me do my business formation. And they be like, oh, you know what? I got somebody on my social media pages always advertising it. They might inbox you. And I see a lot of y'all that don't answer your inboxes. The money is in the inbox. We got to stop saying like we don't want to talk to people because they're not paying me. You go somewhere else and I'm not wasting my time. Like you're in business to make money. You're in business to get leads. Everybody's not going to be ready to pay you right now. You got a person have to see you at least 11 to 20 times or have some type of contact with you at least 11 to 20 times, a lot of times before they even do business with you. But if you like, and you putting all on your plate, you ain't, I'm not answering that. I'm not, you ain't paying me, because everything can't be about the money, right? Because if everything is about the money, then you're not going to get to the loan money. I'm gonna go fast on the next couple stuff. I talk too much. Okay. All right. So lead generations. Client. Oh Lord, let me see. Client building. I keep touching stuff. Client building for preparing for next tax season. If you don't do nothing else, you need to be doing this. You need to be preparing somewhere to put potential clients at so that you can nurture them all year long. So that's by doing emails all year, texts all years. If you don't got no big client base and say you got under 100 clients, you get over 100 clients, it's kind of get hard. But if you got, say, under 100 clients, call your clients during the year. Do a checkup on them every quarter. Ask them, do they have any tax questions or anything that you can assist them with? That's going to take you a long way because that's different. And guess what? When taxes come around, they're going to remember that. And when somebody else looking for a tax pro, they're going to think about how personable you are. Being personal takes you a long way. Lead generations, do lead madness. Again, free webinars. Lead generations can be anything. It can be you doing an ad and you collect the emails. You giving away something free and collect the emails. You doing a webinar and getting emails. But whatever you do, you should be collecting emails all year. You should be collecting phone numbers all year. So when the end of the year come, you ain't looking like, oh, I don't got no clients. I don't know who to market to. You got to do it all year. That's why you can't sit down right now. Michelle said, what's a lead magnet? So a lead magnet can be anything. It's anything that triggers somebody to give you their information. And what you have to create is something they want. So it can be an ebook, right? It can be a free webinar. It can be a giveaway. You have to have something that they want that's gonna make them want to give you their information. So that's what a lead magnet is. Something leading them to give you their information. And it's multiple things that you can do, but you got to do it all year. But you can't just get the emails because that's what a lot of people do. They just collect emails. We used to do that too because we got a nonprofit. And every event we have, we make people, when they come to our events, we make them sign in. If you got a nonprofit, do this. Anything you do with the public, community event wise, make sure all those people give you their emails. Whitney, yes, you can utilize that in your CRM because your CRMs should have workflows. On your CRMs can help you create links to be able to collect the emails. So yeah, get the emails. Community building, engaging in the community, going to networking events. Like we used to, and we still do it every now and then. Well, we got one in the morning now that I think about it. But we used to host networking events all the time because sometimes you can go to people networking events, but you also can host your own. And a networking event don't have to be big. We have this thing where we think that if you throw an event, it has to have hundreds of people, a whole lot of people. If you just want me to be honest with you, the best events for me is when it's not a whole lot of people. Why? Because you're able to have like genuine conversations, genuine connections when you're with small groups. So networking, you should put networking in your marketing plan. Why it's off season, you should go to at least 2 to 4 networking events, whether it's a conference, whether it's a networking event, something where people are and you want to be collecting emails and phone numbers, social media pages. Get educated. Get educated means because when you get educated, then you become more confident. When you get more educated, then you could be more visible because you can make yourself the go-to expert in the world where people can see you, where your audience can see you. So get educated. Attend conferences, attend webinars. It's a lot of free webinars this is going to be going on, not just from people like me, but the IRS, the NATP, all these different organizations. A lot of them are having free webinars, but don't just go to those webinars. Go to I think I in my Facebook group, I just put in where Facebook Meta is having a lot of free webinars teaching about what they're doing on the back end of their when you do ads. And that's important because you need to know like what their changes are. So when you start to run ads or whatever, then you know how to run them. Because one thing about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those, they change up how you do stuff, look like every quarter. So what worked for you last year when you ran ads, if you run ads, might not work for you this year. And they're doing a lot of webinars, which indicates to me that they're getting ready to change a whole lot of stuff. So attend webinars, find a mentor, read the IRS record. Like the best information you get about taxes is on irs.gov. Okay, this is the one I didn't fill in. I'm sorry. But here goes some of the tax conferences. So if you did not know, I'm doing an in-person due diligence training boot camp and brunch on June the 12th and 13th in Atlanta. So come to my webinar, my boot camp if you're in the Atlanta area or if you want to come in. The IRS tax form, I think they're going to like 5 different cities. The first one starts on I think July 1st in Chicago. And then they're going to 5 different cities. If you've never been to an IRS forum, they are boring. They be trying to hype them up or whatever. They are boring, okay? But they are good. Why it's good to go to them? One, because you're getting information directly from the IRS, so it helps you be able to plan for the next tax season. A lot of times they're dropping information of how they're going to do different credits, what are they looking for with the taxpayers, how they coming after us. They give you that type of information. Plus, you can get CE credits. Plus, you can network. So we go to them for all of those things. Send up there in those classes, they are boring. Most of those people that are teaching, they reading a script. I just keep it real. But at the end of the day, some of the information can be helpful and it's always good to go. NATP, I spelled symposium wrong. This is why I'm supposed to have changed it. NATP do like 3 or 4 different conferences. So if you're not a part of a National Association of Tax Professionals, that's a good organization to be a member of. They send out all the latest information via email. They have different classes that you can learn from, and then they have different conferences throughout the year. Then you have ABTP, which I think is the Association of Black Tax Professionals. They're doing a tax tour in Dallas, Atlanta, and New Orleans. So they usually, I think they've been doing it for like 3-4 years. I think this might be their 4th year. They usually just do it in one city, but this year they're doing a tax tour, so they're doing it in 3 different cities. Now you want to meet me and you can't come to my boot camp, I'm gonna be a speaker at all 3 cities. So those are some conferences. So y'all can't see, I don't know where to go. Now, build your social media presence. This is what you should be doing for real. Okay. Do not get off of social media. Do not stop being consistent. You have to build content. You gotta be seen. You gotta be seen. So you gotta build this is the perfect time to build your presence on social media. And I can't go in, no, we don't got time for me to go into detail about how the deep parts of it. But let me tell you this. I don't care how many likes you get. I don't care how many views you get. All right. People see you. And being on social media, being consistent do not necessarily mean all you do is post tax information. All you do is post business information. It's being present, making sure people know that you do taxes, and finding your audience throughout the year, and making sure that you're showing up in people's algorithm. And it's not just about posting, because posting is not what gets you seen the most. The thing that gets you seen the most is engaging. But like I told you, I can't go and have a social media class right now. But even if you're on social media every day, all day, stop just scrolling. Stop saying, oh, they don't like my post, so I'm not going to like nobody else's post. Stop doing it. Start engaging. Start liking and loving people posts. Start commenting on people posts. Start sharing people's stuff. Engaging is a very important thing. Upgrade your systems and your tools. So look at, like, I think my account manager called me today and asked me about how did I feel like the software did this year. So a lot of people are doing that. So evaluate your software. Is your software nickel and diming you? Are you under a service bureau who take all your back end fees and you need to change over and go direct? What are, what do you need to change your software? Okay. Do you have a CRM? Did you get a CRM that you ain't never looked at? Okay. Do you need to keep paying that money? Or do you need to utilize that CRM and take the time out to learn how it works? I use Jotform. I have like CRMs. I do Go High Level. I do a whole lot of those different things. I don't have time to learn them. But it's an important thing for you to stop and learn, because Jotform do everything now. So I really need to be taking some classes on Jotform, right? Getting Jotform certificate. So evaluate all your softwares. Evaluate, what do you utilize for automation? Okay, because automation is everything in your business. What about your client portal? What about your appointment scheduling? Did you have appointment scheduling? What do you use for your invoices? How do you operate your business? What are your systems? Do you need to add something additional to your systems? Do you need to take something away? Evaluate that. Build your A team. Y'all see, I didn't say build a team. I said build your A team. Because if you want to scale for real, I'm not a big pusher on building teams just because of my experience. But honestly, if you want to really scale and build, right? Not if you just new and you just learning, right? A lot of new people do build team when they just learning. When I first started out, I can't even hate. Like, I have been doing tests for 2 years. I started my business with all new people, and I only been doing tests for 3 years, and I was successful. But I bumped my head. I made a lot of mistakes. It cost me a lot of money, right? But build your A team. What are those key players you need on your team for you to scale? What are those key players you need on your team to make operating your tax business easier? So hire outsource people. Look at what that look like. What do you need to fill the gaps in it? Staff training. If you got people on your team, what kind of training do you need to be doing with them? Build a team that's ready to grow. It's a lot of people that be on our teams, they ain't trying to do nothing. You can tell them, teach them, give them the whole plan, they still not gonna do nothing. So you got to find you some A players, people that's ready to go out here and make this money with you, help you grow your vision while you help them grow theirs. So build your A team. Expand your service offering. Right now, again, with the climate of everything that's going on in the world, I've only just did individual tax returns. I only started doing corporate tax returns this year. I used to be that person just about my whole tax career. I only did individual tax return. I was a-okay with that. I didn't want to learn nothing else. I knew the information, so I can tell people, I can talk about it, I can educate about it, but I never wanted to do it. I used to, like I said, I used to my first 4 months of the year, I make all my money because I made good money. And then after that, I go work my other business. That was one of my biggest mistakes, right? Because we think we gotta go, they say don't put all your eggs in one basket. We think that means we gotta go start a whole lot of other businesses. It takes a lot of money to start these other businesses. It takes a lot of money for those businesses to actually make a profit. So if you're not out here with a whole lot of businesses, what I recommend is that you add additional revenue streams to your tax business that complements your tax business, right? So expand your service offerings. Do corporate taxes. Learn how to do corporate taxes. The money is in the corporate taxes. Bookkeeping, tax resolution, because all these people gonna have to pay a lot of money back for all this fraud. If you want to become a service bureau, become a service bureau. Everybody, they back on this credit thing. So everybody doing credit. So if you want to do credit repair, do credit, insurance, business credit coaching. Everybody back, because we have seasons and phases where everybody want to do a certain type of industry. That's normal or whatever. Nobody really talking about business credit as much anymore. Why? Because the lenders and stuff on got stricter. They can't really show you that they got business credit because they don't messed up all the credit cards. They can't get none, so they don't even want to teach you about it. But learn about it. It's people that needs to build business credit, become a business credit coach. Tax planning. Tax planning is important because my clientele, at least a quarter of my clientele, is high income earners. That was a big terminology. Like, people have been making money. I don't know why we got to talk about high income earners. Like, I don't know. But anyway, but it's a lot of them, and a lot of them need tax planning, advisory services. So it's a lot of services that you can add to your tax business that can make you a lot of money. So think about expanding your services. Take a class now so you can be ready to implement it. So key trends to keep your eye on. There ain't nobody talking about. Okay. So one, AI technology. All you hear about is Chat GPT. It's so many other AI tools. AI been here. AI started really climbing to us regular people the last 2 to 3 years. AI is taking over. So if you're not using AI or learning how to use AI, you're going to get left behind. It's just like, or you might end up closing your business. It's just like when social media came. If you don't learn it, you're going to be looking crazy. So don't run from it. Don't scream, oh, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. You better hone into it and really honestly become an expert in it. I see, I think you put your hand down. Okay. You got to hone into it. This year is going to be really, really sticky. One, because y'all know the president off the chain right now. But not only him being off the chain, from the TCJA, I think I got that right, tax cuts from 2017, all of those expire this year. So the credits that we have currently, a lot of those credits and deductions was changed in 2017, right? They wasn't nothing like they is right now. And when I say that, that means we used to be able, like nurses, people used to be able to write out unreimbursed employee expenses. You used to have personal exemptions and standard deductions. You used to be able to write more often $10,000 for your property tax and real estate taxes. It was so many different credits that was not operating like this. A standard deduction, Veronica, I'm gonna tell you in a minute, but the best is going to IRS.gov. Okay. And then it's subscribing to like the government's, I forgot the link, but you can subscribe to where they are telling you like when they're making up new tax laws and Congress passed something, or they're putting something out on the floor for people to vote on and different things like that. You can subscribe to that. I don't have the link on me, but I'm out. If you're in my tax group, I might put it in the tax group. But there all these credits expiring this year, and we don't know how they're going to change them. So because we don't know how they're going to change them, if you're a new tax pro, even if you've been in the tax industry for a long time, because I know a lot of people that's been in the tax industry for a long time, you might not keep up with what's going on. But it's going to be important for you to keep up with what's going on this year, because it's going to be a lot of tax changes. Unless they keep extend some of them and keep them the same way. But I don't know what they're gonna do. So you're gonna have to keep your ear to the ground so that you're able to educate your clients in reference to what's going on, and to make sure you're well aware of how it's gonna affect people refunds. Because when it affect people refunds, like right now, where people don't get big refunds like they used to get prior to COVID, really prior to 2017, they're not getting refunds as big as they used to get. Why? Because they changed the W-4 form. Nobody pays taxes anymore. That affects our clients and whether or not they're gonna get refunds or not, or big refunds. When they don't get big refunds, they start crying about the prep fees. When they don't get big refunds, they feel like they can do taxes on their own. So you need to be well aware of when they change these tax credits, how is it gonna affect the client. They're doing more due diligence examinations. Like I said, I've never seen them do due diligence examinations for the current year. I don't know if they're gonna come back and do some ERO examinations. They're doing a lot of bank audits, and they're doing a lot of criminal investigation. And what you do need to know is bank audits are not just done during tax season. The bank can come back and ask you for documents for your clients in November. Okay. I remember when we first started in our tax business, when I first started doing taxes, and that's why I say me not having a mentor when I first started was a big problem. Okay. So I remember one tax season, I think we was on Republic Bank, and they came at the end of the year, and we had to turn in all our bank applications for all our clients to them. They did bank products. So understand, bank audits don't necessarily just happen during tax season. They can come back and can request all your documents if they want to. So make sure, like your paperwork, your client signed off on a tax return. Make sure your client signed off on a bank applications. Make sure you got notes for due diligence. Just make sure you're covered. Okay. Take the time. Do not sit somewhere and be like, oh, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll worry about it when they send me a letter. You do not want to do that. I promise you, you do not want to do that. So work on it now. The IRS firing staff, like they're supposed to be firing some people in the next 2 weeks. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if they're gonna do it for real. That's gonna affect us. That's gonna affect our clients. And a lot of people thinking about, you know, tax resolution as far as like people doing different things in that area. But I ain't even thinking about that. I'm thinking about next tax season. Okay. If they fire the people, they ain't gonna hire nobody back. So how is that gonna affect us next tax season? We need to be thinking about those things right now. Technology changes. When technology change, everything changes for us. So when I talk about AI technology, when I tell you you need to learn and be an expert for that, understand that the IRS is using AI technology too. The more and more they get good with AI or implement AI in their systems, the quicker they're going to catch on to stuff, the quicker they're going to start adding more people. The quicker, you know what I'm saying? They just gonna be doing a whole lot of stuff. So as technology changes, the industry changes. Keep that in mind. And then the growing need for remote and virtual services. A lot of people don't like to go in offices anymore. So what other services can you add in your business to offer that's a virtual service? And a lot of y'all are old school. You don't have a job form, you don't have a website, you don't have anything that your clients can submit to their information to you in a systematic way. You got to get systems in place, because virtual services is just growing more and more. I think this is, I know it's like my first year. I do a lot of Google marketing, and I get a lot of Google clients, and I do a lot of Google for footprint for my storefront and my office. But I think I seen an increase of Google clients submitting their information virtual. I seen more Google clients submit their information virtual than I ever seen. A lot of times when people go on Google, especially for like something like taxes, they ain't trying to submit their information to just anybody. But this year I seen a good increase on Google clients submitting their information online. So find your system, put a system in place. Prioritize your personal growth. So get you some certificates, specialize in some things. Okay. Make sure you invest in you. Know this, you cannot grow your business if you're not willing to invest in you. And that means money and time. Okay. So join mentorships. Find you a good mentor, not just nobody who's selling some software. Get you a good mentor. Get you somebody that can teach you some stuff. Okay. Join masterminds. Invest in your mental health. Get you a therapist. Get you a therapist. Some of us, I'm one of those people. I used to go to every conference, every webinar. You know, I love reading books. I like learning. I just love learning new stuff, especially about business and tasks. I love it. But it came a point in my life where I realized it didn't matter how much I learned, how much information I got or whatever. I was gonna never move the needle until I handled my mental issues, until I got mentally unstuck in certain areas in my life. So it's okay to get a therapist. The reason why you might not be making no money or your business might not be growing because you need to talk to somebody. Okay. Do exercise and yoga. Okay. Texas is overwhelming. Everyday life is overwhelming, right? You got to find something to balance your brain out so that your juices can flow. Monet, I was gonna put how to find a good mentor in here, but I didn't put it in here. You got to find somebody, and you know, I have a mentorship that I'm gonna put at the end that you're gonna see, but I might not be a fit. I don't know. But a good mentor is, first of all, if you're looking for a mentor, find out what you need a mentor for. Because some people just be screaming they need a mentor or whatever, and then you don't even know what you need a mentor for. You just paying somebody some money and you don't even know what you need. So first of all, you need to identify what do you need a mentor for. Now, and don't say somebody gonna help me just grow my business, because that's gonna make you get anybody, right? Not just grow your business, but make you more money. You do want a person to help you make you more money, but what are those things that you need to identify to that you feel like you need to learn for them to help you make more money? Okay. So I will say get references, but I don't really believe in that because they'll give you good references to check. Um, Pray over it. That's number one. Just pray over it. That's number one, because a lot of these folks host. So, but a good mentor is like somebody that has experience, right? Somebody who has experience, you know, in the area that you're trying to be mentoring in. Somebody got receipts, not they just saying they did something, but they can actually show you. Um, those are two most important things. Okay. Um, and experience don't necessarily mean years. Because you can have somebody saying they've been in the tax industry for 15 years, but they don't really know that. I know a lot of them. 20 years, they don't really know that. They ain't got no clientele. None of that. So somebody who's experienced, somebody who can teach you how to grow your business on different levels, unless you're just looking for something specific. Other things that you can be doing, do bulk content creation. Y'all should be doing that. Y'all be making because the laws changes a lot. It's some stuff that ain't no change. So you can be doing bulk content creation now. You can be making videos right now and just putting them up, getting ready for next tax season if you wanted to. Create emails and newsletters, become guests on podcasts. I can go deep in this stuff, okay? Event speaking, workshop educating, update your website, okay? Attract people to your website. Write blogs for SEO. I don't know why I got to end like that, but write blogs. Do LinkedIn blogs. Make sure you got SEO in there. So people, when they search you, they can pull you up. So when I say visible, like these are my numbers on social media for the last 3-4 months, right? And the crazy part about it, like if you see on the first slide, I was down 52%, right? Because I was on social, I had a strategy for real, but I wasn't on as much because I be doing taxes, right? But look at your metrics. Look on Facebook, look under your professional dashboard. And on TikTok, it's called, I don't know what it's called. On TikTok, it's called, my bad. And anyway, it's your analytics. I want to have that noise in the background. Your analytics. Look at your numbers. See where you are today. And then start posting consistently. Start engaging consistently. Start doing different things when it comes to content. Visibility is everything. I don't care what nobody tell you. You can get clients without being visible, but if you really want to scale, you really want to grow, you have to be visible. And a lot of my views ain't even got nothing to do with taxes. Okay? You can gain views all kinds of ways. Some of them do. I went viral couple of times doing taxes on all the platforms just from doing certain things. But it's about being consistent, showing up, letting people see you, engaging. That all that stuff works. So y'all ain't in my mentorship, okay? But y'all on this webinar. So this y'all homework. I don't know if I'm gonna see y'all, talk to y'all or anything after this, but this is your homework based off of what we talked about today. All right. So set 1 to 3 specific goals for the next 90 days. Okay. Because consistency is everything. If you're consistent in something, it's gonna work out for you. Okay. It will work out. If you just start something and stop it, stop, it's not gonna pay off. And it usually takes 90 days for something to pay off. It could take less than that for real, right? Like it takes 21 days to develop a habit. But 90 days consistency is a good point for you to really start seeing results. All right. Break it down week by weekly tasks and mini wins. Celebrate your small wins too. Track and set goals. And then stick to your plan. Okay, find your accountability partner. Stick to your plan. And right now, since taxes has slowed down, if you ain't got nothing else to do to plan for tax season next year, the biggest thing is to make sure you're visible for the next 90 days. Make sure you pick something that you want to generate revenue from for the next 90 days and be visible in it. So the next 6 months, if you don't make no money off of these next 90 days, you position yourself to make money off of it the last 6 months out the year. So your future tax season starts now. Consistent is the word, man. Consistent is what it is. When you consistent at something, you cannot not win. When you are truly being consistent at something, you cannot not win. Consistent preparation equals consistent profit. When I stopped playing games, well, I've always made profit because I'm a consistent person. But when I really dived in and put the strategy with the consistency, right, the profit went crazy. Okay. Serve your clients better, you earn more, and you stress less. And that is the truth. This time next year, You'll be glad you started today and that you didn't wait into December, that you didn't wait till October, September when everybody else start. Start today. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 5, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, when I'm gonna answer your question in a minute. On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident do you feel right now about having a stronger off-season plan? So a lot of y'all came in here saying you didn't know what you need to be doing now. And I don't want y'all lying to me. Because y'all just hit 4, 5 because y'all want me to think I did something. But no, I want the truth. Like, do you feel like from the information that you attained tonight that you got something to go with to kind of get you a plan together? Okay, Veronica, all those 5 girls. I love it. I love it. I see somebody hand raised. Latrice, I'm going to come to your hand. 1 second. I promise you. Because I'm done for real. I'm almost done. So, marketing doesn't end after April the 15th. I wish I could hear y'all because y'all need to repeat that. Marketing doesn't end after April the 15th. Some of y'all be start marketing like in February. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like some of y'all started advertising and stop marketing in February. Y'all got to market. You got to come up with because consistency don't necessarily mean post 3, 4, or 5 times a day. That pushed the needle because that's visibility. And I'll tell y'all this, like we're in a season of where social media is not about how many followers you have anymore. It's about the type of content you put out. So you can have 15 followers, but you put a piece of content out that interests people and it can go viral. And that's not a lie. So again, I don't have time to go over marketing, media, all those different types of things, but you got to market and you got to find you a plan to stay consistent. Even, you know what I'm saying? Even if you only posting once a day, or even if you posting 3 times a week, but you got to find a pattern of consistency, okay, in order for you to get the visibility. So some of y'all, the reason why y'all can't post after tax season is because you don't know what to post. Like when tax season over, nobody's posting about taxes. And one thing I know about the tax industry is we like to copy everybody post. Okay. So somebody posts something that sounds good and we copying it and then we posting it. But you can't post after tax season because ain't nobody posting that you can copy. Okay. So I created an ebook. It ain't got nothing but copy. It don't got nothing but posts you can copy so that you can stay consistent all year long. Okay. And when I say consistent, stand consistent with taxes, right? Stand consistent where people can, when they think about taxes, they think about small business, then they're going to think about you. Okay. They're going to think about you. But you can't stay consistent if you don't know what to post. And again, one of the reasons why you don't see a whole lot of tax pros posting in the off season is because we love to copy people posts. So if ain't nobody really posting, we ain't got nobody to copy, then we can't post. So I'm giving you the opportunity to copy my posts. I post all year. Okay. I post all year. I post tax stuff. I post business stuff. I post my personal stuff. I post all year. I don't care if I'm sad. I don't care if I'm depressed. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care. I post all year. Okay. I make myself the go-to person. I might make myself the go-to person for too much, but I make myself the go-to person, right? Because I position myself as an expert. Okay. So if you want the copy my post ebook, you can purchase it. It's $29.97, I believe. I'm gonna sell it for $49, but it's $29.97 right now. So if you want to know what's in it, oh shoot. If you want to know what's in it, It's 52 ready to use tax tips. Okay. You can use one for every week of the year. Okay. So I think I kind of like 32 more weeks we got for the year. So you don't need, there ain't a full year. But so you really kind of can take two of them and post two a week for the most part, even if you want to post more information out, during the week, if you want to post something tax related. One thing about taxes is that when it's not the peak of tax season, ain't nobody really paying attention to you like that. But they can. You said, are these edible? They is in PDF form. If you have where you can open the PDF, you can edit them. I was thinking about sending the Word doc. I still might go back and send it. I gotta think about it or whatever. Do I have examples of what the posts look like? Yeah, I kind of do. When we get through, I'll share like one page of the book. So if you want to see, okay. Um, I'll share one page of the book so you can see. Also, what you can also do with the post, and I'm gonna tell y'all this because with a lot of this stuff, you can go to AI and really do this stuff or whatever. It's not posts, it's the wording. So it's not no graphics, it's just it's tax tips. Okay. Now with those tax tips, you can make your own graphics, you can make carousels, you can make rears, you can make all those things, but you could take that information and do a whole lot with. You could take that information and you can put it in an AI tool, copy and paste it, and tell it to rewrite it so it don't sound like everybody else that might buy the book, and where they can write it in your voice. You can take the post and say, make it more detailed. You can take the post and you can make a tell AI to write a newsletter, write an email. You can do a lot with the post. Okay. But it's 52 of them in there. Now, for anybody like who wants or looking for a mentor, I'm not trying to I'm always trying to make sure people are aware of all the things that I'm doing. But if I got two different programs that I ain't even really put out on social media like that yet, but I have open enrollment for my mentorship, which is the Tax High Mastermind, and then I have a low tier boot camp for 6 weeks that's teaching tax law, Schedule C, due diligence, and visibility, like one content class. So if you want to look at what I got going on with that, you can take a look at it. I'm not gonna stay on this screen too much. They're gonna drop the links in the comments. And then we had questions and answers. If you're not following me on social media, you can follow me on social media at Gwinnetta Wright at any time. And I can take questions and answers now if you want to come off of mute. Because I know y'all be used to those Zoom meetings. I'm on Zoom. I don't like them because people don't have they don't have their volume on mute. They be talking. People be distracted because people be touching their nose, touching their head, doing all that stuff. Anyway, so if you want to come off of mute, you can raise your hand and I'll just take any questions now. And I hope I helped y'all. Definitely do your homework, come up with a plan regardless of what you do. Okay. Okay, let me see what y'all talking about in these comments. Okay. Thank y'all. Thank you. How did you build your tax team? Okay, so Monica, I've been doing taxes for 21 years and I've been in business for 19. Okay, so when I started out, and things are totally different. Okay, things are totally different now. Okay, so when I started out, it's always been service bureaus, but people only really built their team most of the time based off P10 holders. It wasn't this whole thing, start your own business, don't split revenue. I'm not even for that kind of stuff anyway. Like, I just be like, whatever. Because most of the time, I know people that really want to steal y'all money. They want to charge y'all high back end fees so that they can make their money. They want you to have your own business so that when you over there doing all that, they teach you how to do all that fraudulent stuff. If you get in trouble, it's not gonna fall back on them, it's gonna fall on you. Okay. That's why we got this climate of everybody need to be their own boss. Everybody need to get their own money. Whatever, wherever. It's just it's a gimmick. And at the end of the day, I think building a team is important. I think it's a good way to generate money. I think it's a good business model. I don't believe everybody needs to be their own, have their own EFIN and run their own business. I don't, because most of y'all not experienced. And then just like when the IRS was coming around doing all those EROs, I know I kind of went off how I built my team. We'll come back there. When they was coming back, when IRS coming out and doing all these ERO compliance examinations and showing people EFINs off and stuff like that, the reason why people weren't prepared is because everybody wanted to be their own boss and they didn't go through anything for anybody to teach them anything. And then I have never seen so many people under criminal investigation and they just started doing taxes. And I ain't never seen so many people being fined $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 and in my life. But building a team, how I started is I started my team with people I knew. Okay. So people I knew that possibly would like to make extra income. And I trained them myself. And then that's how I started my team. How I grew my team once I did that, I just advertised for people to be a part of my team every year. You know, you have to come up with incentives for them. You have to come up with a plan and you got to get out and meet people, right? You could target certain type of people, get you a niche market, the people who work from home, you know, people who are in poverty and need additional income. You know what I'm saying? It can be any type of area of people. That's really like it when you think about building a team, especially a tax team now, it's really finding people in a niche area that you can market to that ain't nobody really marketing to try to get them to start doing taxes. A lot of times when you're trying to build teams with other people that have already been in the tax industry or whatever, they're gonna keep jumping ship, right? They're gonna try to get over, right? It's gonna be so many different things, but networking is a good component and finding you a niche audience that you can target to market to build a team. I hope that helped. Okay, Wendy said, what is dot prep? So I call dot prep. Dot prep is anything like when you talk about doing any type of paperwork for your client, like your client might, like I had a client call me the other day, they needed me to do a letter because they buying a house because they did an extension and the mortgage company needs a letter to show that they're doing an extension. That's dot prep for me. Okay. So for dot prep, for me to write a letter or do a letter to send to like a mortgage company, some people do it for free. You know what I'm saying? Your client might call you, they say they need this for to purchase a home. You might do it for free, but that's the revenue stream. So for me, I charge $150 to $300 to do dot prep. It can be a profit and loss sheet. And a lot of my dot preps are people, I target people who buy homes because mortgage lenders need everything. They need a comfort letter to say they're still in business. You have to be careful when you're doing that, but a lot of times you're good. Most people be like, oh no, you're gonna get in trouble. No, you can't do that. It's a certain way you need to word it because I'm a real estate agent as well. Okay. Um, then they need they need to say that they got extensions. They need for a profit and loss statement to be done, and not a profit and loss statement because you're a bookkeeper. They need a profit and loss statement to show whatever they reported income and expenses on their schedule C, and they need to turn that into the mortgage lender. Dot prep could be making a business plan for somebody, doing 501c3 paperwork for somebody, any type of document preparation that you're doing for somebody, writing a written contract. Like some people don't know how to write contracts, doing resumes. Dot prep can be anything that you are doing, prepping a documentation for them. What CRM system do you recommend? I have a a tech person. So I pay somebody to run my back end, honestly. So I don't do recommendations of CRM because I don't do them on my own. I don't do my stuff on my own because I pay someone to do it. They do use Go High Level. Okay. Um, I don't use a lot of them. I've used Smart Vault before. Um, but for my virtual services, I use Jotform. I don't really see no need to use nothing else for me. So I use Jotform, and we get a lot of people online. So Jotform works fine for me. And what all you should have on your website besides contact me. So on your website, you should have like who you are, like who you service, like so, like a about you page. I would recommend doing a bio about you. If you don't have that much to put on the bio, have something about you. You need to have the services that you are providing to your client. I recommend if you're gonna have a website, especially for taxes, that you have somewhere that your client can submit their information. So you can create a link if you have a CRM where they upload to a portal. You can create a link where they can sign into the portal. You can create a jot like for mine. I have my jot form. So when they go on my website, I don't just use the jot form link. I let them go to my website and then I have the jot form embedded in the website so they can just click on the link to submit the information. Um, you need to have your mission, what's your goals, testimonials, get you some testimonials from your clients. Anything that you got that's credible. So if you're a member of anything, make sure you show that. So it's just different things. It just depends on what you're trying to show. You sell a product, put that on there. Okay, hold on. Well, let me see if I got any other questions, and I'll come back to you. Sonya said, "What part of job form do you use?" Sonya, when you say what part, what you mean? Be a little bit more detail on that one. Anybody got their hands up? I don't think I see anybody with their hands up. Okay. I'm looking. Okay, dot prep. How can we leverage this? I told y'all that. When I send your other question, I just want to make sure I answer somebody else. Eh, and that I ain't missing nobody. Okay, Jamie said, will it be up? They don't know if you're still on here. This is the ebook. This is the 52 weeks. I'm not adding anything else to it. So I purposely did it for 52 weeks so you can do it all year. I'm a type of person that I repurpose my posts. So really honestly, you can use these at the beginning of tax season. So you can have a post a day. You can use it every week right now. And then you can come at the beginning of tax season. And if it's 52 posts, the first 60 days, close to the first 60 days, you can have a post a day already made. Because I tried to stay in with generic posts that reflects people, because the idea is for you to show some type of knowledge and then to show visibility. Okay, I don't see no more questions, so I'm answer Monica. I think it's Monica. Is it Monica? Yeah, Whitney, one of y'all. Whitney, I think. Questions. If you got any questions, go ahead and put in the chat or raise your hand. Are we gonna get off of here? Okay, how can we prevent all these criminal fees you're speaking of? You got to be more specific on that one. Um, okay, so what part of job form do I use? All right, so I create the job form for them to fill out the information and submit it, right? In my job form, I have them to upload their docs. I have the highest tier because I want the information protected. the HIPAA, whatever you call it, HIPAA. I did start using conditional logic this year, a little bit. I don't use signatures, because we have signatures embedded in our embedded. I ain't no say I don't use signatures. I do use signatures on, I think, a form. I don't know if I still got it on there, but I used to use signatures within embedded in the form. I use it as a portal, but Jotform do everything now. You're welcome, Miss Hines. Jotform do everything now. So I'm really gonna just take some time. I don't took some people Jotform class, but I'm just gonna go get a certificate in Jotform and really dive deep, because I think Jotform do everything everybody else do at this point. They got workflows, they got AI agents, they got so much. And I love Jotform. Anybody got any other questions? There's still quite a few of y'all on here, so if you got a question, go ahead and drop it in the chat. If not, we're gonna get off. Okay, criminal fees for not being clogged. I just want to make sure what I need to stay in compliance zone. Okay, now virtual. You need to make sure you're doing your due diligence. Like, I don't know how many clients you do. I don't know if you do refundable credits or not. The fines that they're getting for these 50,000, 60,000 fines are due diligence fines. A lot of people been in the tax industry for a long time, and they thought they knew what due diligence was, or they thought due diligence wasn't even serious. I don't know why though. They thought due diligence wasn't even serious or whatever. So what's happening is a lot of people are getting examinations, and because they didn't take due diligence serious, or they didn't understand how due diligence worked, they wasn't doing they're not doing their due diligence. So when they get selected for an examination, they get fined. So that's what I'm talking about. Somebody said one pro and one con for hiring PTN holders. All right. So a pro to hiring PTN holders is you making money because you got people on your team. The reason why I was able to make 8 figures in my tax business is because I always had a team. Now, I'm not into like building big teams today. That's just me. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I'm just not into it. But as a person that does taxes, you can't do but so many taxes. And depends on your personality, you might not be the person to get the most clients. So bringing on a PTN holder allows you to be able to make additional revenue without you having to do the work. And it helps you scale your business revenue more. So again, when I started with the team. I've never been by myself the whole 21 years. 19 years. I haven't been by myself. I've been doing tax for 21, but I've been on my business for that. So I've never been by myself. I've always had a team. So it was easier for me to get to multiple 6 figures because I had a team. Now the con to that is that even though I built a team, and I'm gonna give you more than one con, even though I built a team, it came with a lot of turmoil. Because you don't know who you're getting on your team. So a lot of times when you have PTN holders, a lot of times once they see the money, they're not gonna stay long or whatever. They're gonna want their own. So they might not stay with you that long. So you can't really depend on their income. All right. 2, you're responsible for them because they are under your EFIN. Whatever they do, it can fall back on you. 3, you can get PTN holders, but they don't produce. So you can spend your time training them, you can spend your time building them up, you can do all those things, but they're not a good fit. So they're not going to make you no money. They're just a waste of time. So I hope that helped, Miss Kamika. let's see. Do you suggest split payments with EROs to P10s? Most definitely. I still do 50-50. And I don't care what nobody say. I still do 50-50. But I also know my value. I also know what I provide. I also know I run a business. You know, another reason why I don't even try to be a team because y'all like to frown upon people that do 50-50. At the end of the day, I'm in business and it costs to be in business. And so if a P10 holder, they don't want to pay the 50-50, then they do need to go get their own ether or whatever, or they need to get a lot of clients and then we might negotiate. But at the end of the day, I look at business a different way. So do you have to do 50-50? No, you can do a higher commission split or you can do a lower commission split, however you want to. I don't go into caring about what nobody say how I should operate my business. Everybody operate their business the way they want to. Now I can tell you this, will you be able to keep a P10 holder with a commission split? Probably not too long, but it's okay. Because if you build your business model to where you know that you got to bring new ones in every year to replace somebody old, then you just build your business model like that. I didn't want to be a teen no more because I ain't got time to be going under criminal investigation, dealing with people want to steal my life and all that kind of stuff like that. So I stopped bringing people in, and then I only focused on marketing. I only bring in hourly preparers now because and they're coming in to help me with my clientele as I market my company and bring in the clients. So you have to um find what works for you, not what social media say, what nobody else saying. You gotta find out what works for you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once. I do have a class on becoming service bureau, but I do not offer it to the public. It's only in my mastermind class. Okay. So I don't offer it on to the public. I don't do webinars on it. It's like how I operate is I got different components. So I got my free group, which is Women's Entrepreneur United. And that group for this, like I put posts and information in there, but now I'm gonna do more teaching. So if, like for the rest of this month, I'm doing free webinars every week. All right. So with that, I don't I pick information that I don't make other people pay for. Okay. Then I have the boot camp. The boot camp is information that's in the mentorship, but they got to pay for that too. And then the mentorship, I just have stuff in my mentorship that I can teach the people. I probably charge people, but I want the people that's paying a high ticket item to feel like they could have just, bought the individual class. So I don't necessarily teach it outside of my mastermind. So you got a question. What's your question? I do pick my brain sessions. I do strategy sessions. I never advertise that. I got 1,000 services. Okay. It will take me forever to advertise all the services I have. I do have a pick my brain session. I'm gonna type in my website. I'm done getting ready to update it. But if you go under services, I think you go under services. I think that's where you can do pick my brain. Sandra. What is your did you have a question? Okay, how did you specifically scale from multiple six figures to a million this year? I actually scaled to a million in 2023. I didn't even realize it until I won the seven figure award and I really did my numbers. And then I've been hitting it. I hit it in 2024 too. So, and hopefully we're gonna hit it again. I'm trying to go 1 point something. I was 1.1 last year in 2024. So I need to be like at 1.5, trying to get to 2 million in my mind, because I want to actually net a million. Grossing a million and netting a million is two different things. But how did I scale from 6 figures to a million? So for one, I've always made at least a half a million. So I've always made at least 500 to 900,000, except for my first 3 years in business. So how did I get to that? Was again because I always had a team. Now to um prior to let me see. Um, I want to say around 2013, 2014. Prior to that, I had a big team. Okay. So I always had a big team. So I was always able to make multiple high six figures because I had a team. So the money wasn't just dependent on me. One, I have my own big clientele, but then I have preparers who do clients. So if I get 50% of what they make, and then their income is a generation of the total income is my business income. So that's how I was able to get there. How did I be able to get over to the 7 figures? Was one, I always undercharged. I'm one of those people that got a giving heart or whatever. So because I got a giving heart, I used to, like, for a long time, people won't even believe it. We always had a large clientele though. But we used to charge like 275, 300, 350. Even sometime now we still do. But we charged a lot of people that price. We wasn't really charging over $400. But because we had a large clientele, I'm talking about 3,000, we used to always hit the high numbers. Now, how I end up scaling to the $1 million mark is I took my fees up. That was number one, because I already had the clientele, so I needed to double the price. But we was charging 250. Most people now is 400 plus. So we increased our price. That was one of the things that we did. And then the next thing was I incorporated digital products, because what people don't realize, if you build up your brand, you can sell as many digital products as you can get as many people on your team and worry about somebody doing tax returns, and the numbers is going to turn out the same. So I took some years to be consistent to start selling digital products. So that's literally how I scaled to 7 figures. Did you hear me? Could you say that again? Did you hear me? Okay, so we increased our price. That was one of the ways. Okay, we increased our price. Our price was too low, so we increased our price on a lot of our clients, or majority of our clients really. We went up either a third or we doubled, and the reason why I was able to double was because we was undercharging them too much. Then I had a team, so they produce as well. I get a percentage off of them. And it ain't even a big team. You know what I'm saying? It was a team. I probably kept 6 to 9 people the last couple of years, right? And I incorporated digital products. Thank you, Tiffany. And I incorporated digital products. But the number one thing that I didn't say, and my sister reminded me, is I went all in on my marketing. Okay. Because when we didn't have the team anymore, I lost. That's where I stayed at $500,000 for a long time, for years. And then, but I had the same bills that weren't working for me. Okay. So I went all in on marketing. I invested a lot in marketing. I made sure I stayed in front of everybody. I was showing up everywhere. And that's how I know if you're visible, it's gonna work. Because we got a little team now, and I scaled to 7 figures with a small team. But I was able to scale my clientele and the overall company clientele. So I'm not dependent on no prepares because I've lost 6 figures too, multiple 6 figures too, just from people leaving. So that's how we was able to do it. So there's a lot of different components to it. And so you have to figure out what you're willing to do. Because when you're dealing with team, that's a headache for real. I don't know if you got a team or not, but dealing with people is a headache. Okay, I'll take one or two more questions and then I'm gonna go. You're welcome, Christy. I'm gonna put in well, probably in the Thursday. I'm gonna put out another webinar that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be doing a webinar every Tuesday until June. Okay. I'm gonna do a webinar every Tuesday until June, unless something come up. Make sure y'all get the copy my post ebook if you don't know what to post. Okay. Y'all be copying, some of y'all be copying my post anyway. So there you go in the ebook. Anybody? All right. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Let me see. She was posting some. Oh, she already answered. Okay. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.